Hi, my name is Savya Khosla and I'm excited to present a work titled Magnet, Augmenting Generative Decoders with Representation Learning and Infilling Capabilities. Language models are computational models designed to encode, understand, and generate human language. Two widely used categories of language models are encoder-only models such as BERT that are trained to predict masked-out tokens using bidirectional context, and decoder-only models like GPT, which are trained to predict the next token given the previous ones. Traditionally, the encoder-only models, as the name suggests, are used to encode the language and are deployed for representation learning tasks like sentiment analysis and part-of-speech tagging. On the other hand, the decoder-only models are used to generate language. Under the hood, both encoder and decoder-only models use the same core mechanism of self-attention. The main difference lies in how attention is applied. Encoder models use bidirectional attention, which means every token in the sequence attends to every other token, while decoder-only models use causal or unidirectional attention, which means a token can only attend to the preceding tokens in the sequence. In practice, this distinction is implemented by simply modifying the attention mask M. For bidirectional encoders, the attention mask is a matrix of all zeros, which is equivalent to no masking, thereby allowing every token to attend to every other token in the sequence. For causal decoders, the attention mask is a triangular matrix with negative infinity in the upper triangle. This prevents tokens from attending to any future positions in the sequence. Lately, decoder-only LLMs have gained immense popularity due to their efficient training and scalability. To leverage these benefits, researchers have extended decoder-only LLMs beyond traditional text generation to support tasks such as text infilling and even representation learning. However, standard LLMs and infilling LLMs are not well suited for representation learning tasks such as part-of-speech tagging. Similarly, modifications that adapt these models for encoding tend to degrade their original text generation capabilities. This brings us on to our proposed approach, Magnet, which augments a generative LLM with both infilling and representation learning capabilities while preserving its ability for open-ended text generation. Magnet stands for Modified Attention for Generation and Encoding of Text. At a high level, we update the causal mask of LLM to incorporate elements of bidirectionality and then fine-tune the model using three self-supervised learning objectives. Let's look at these steps in more detail, starting with how to modify the attention. As discussed a few slides ago, figure A and B show the attention mask for decoder-only models and encoder-only models respectively. As a reminder, if cell ij of the attention mask is dark gray, it means that token I cannot attend to token j. On the other hand, if cell ij is light gray, it means that token I can attend to token j. We call these green tokens that have causal mask as span tokens and the blue tokens with bidirectional masks as context tokens. In our proposed approach, we update the attention mask of the LLM to a combination of causal and bidirectional attention as shown in figures C and D. Specifically, the context tokens attend to all other context tokens in the sequence, while the span tokens attend to all context tokens and have causal attention among themselves. During training, we randomly select one or more contiguous set of tokens as span tokens and have the rest be context tokens. Next, we'll walk through the training objectives we use to fine-tune the model. These are designed to help the model understand and effectively use the modified attention mechanism. The first training objective is masked next token prediction, wherein we corrupt 20% of the tokens and the model is tasked with predicting these tokens. This objective is similar to BERT's masked language modeling objective with one key difference. The masked token at position I is predicted using output at position I-1. For example, Y2 predicts the masked out token at position 3 in the input. This is done because the LLMs are trained to predict the next token at each position. This task enables the model to realize its newly enabled bidirectional attention capability and trains it for word-level representation learning. The second training objective is self-supervised contrastive learning. This objective trains the model to align the sentence-level representation of a text with that of its paraphrased version. So as an example, in coding for sentences, I want to thank my co-authors at Adobe and grateful to my collaborators from Adobe should have a high similarity. We use the output corresponding to the last token as the sentence encoding. The final training objective is called missing span generation, where the model is trained to auto-regressively predict the span tokens. Specifically, the model generates each span token, shown in green, by attending to the context tokens in blue and previously generated span tokens. This task enables the model to perform text infilling and helps it preserve its autoregressive text generation capability, which deteriorates if we fine-tune only using bidirectional attention. We simultaneously fine-tune the model on all three training objectives, thereby adapting a generative LLM for word-level representation learning, sentence-level representation learning, and text infilling. Next, we present a comparative analysis of Magnet on these tasks. For all the discussed experiments, we use Llama 27B as the base model. To test word-level representation learning, we evaluate on three tasks: chunking, named entity recognition, and part-of-speech tagging. We find that Magnet outperforms prior methods like LLM2Vec that adapt LLMs for representation learning. Furthermore, Magnet adapted Llama 2 also outperforms state-of-the-art encoder models like Struct-BERT Large. For sentence-level representation learning, we evaluate Magnet adapted Llama on the semantic text similarity benchmark. Again, on average, Magnet outperforms other adaptation methods like LLM2Vec and eco embeddings, as well as state-of-the-art encoder models like Roberta Large. An important takeaway from these results is that Magnet outperforms LLM2Vec on representation learning tasks, even though LLM2Vec is trained exclusively for representation learning using the same masked next token prediction and contrastive learning objectives. This underscores the effectiveness of joint training across representation learning and generative objectives. Next, we assess the extent to which Magnet improves the infilling capabilities of the base LLM. Since the base model can only attend to unidirectional context, we test several prompting strategies to provide the complete context around the infilling position to the base model. We show three prompt examples on this slide for reference. For a more robust baseline, we use few-shot prompting for the base model. Our qualitative analysis shows that Magnet-adapted LLM yields much more coherent text infilling compared to the base LLM. In the table, Unilama refers to the vanilla Llama model that attends only to the previous context, while FS Llama uses few-shot prompting strategy that provides bidirectional context to the base model. The qualitative findings are further supported by human evaluation, where annotators judged whether the infilled text was contextually appropriate or not. As shown, infillings generated by Magnet-adapted Llama are more frequently rated as contextually sound compared to other setups. We also analyze the repetition problem in text generation, which refers to the issue when language models repeatedly generate the same phrases or sentences over and over again. Text encoders and other methods like LLM2Vec that adapt LLMs for representation learning run into repetition problem as shown in the table. On the other hand, Magnet-adapted LLMs can generate coherent and non-repetitive text while being adept at representation learning tasks as well. Lastly, we evaluate how Magnet impacts LLM's knowledge and reasoning capabilities that were required during pre-training. We assess this using several well-established benchmarks, namely HelaSwag, Big Bench Hard, AI2 Reasoning Challenge, Natural Questions, and MMLU. The results show that Magnet preserves the model's original reasoning and knowledge abilities, demonstrating that our modifications do not compromise core capabilities of the LLM. In conclusion, our work proposes a method that transforms causal LLMs into unified models capable of text generation, infilling, and representation learning. Thank you for listening.